I think space is mad. Just the thought of like we've been to different planets and like we've not been to different planets, but we've been to like the moon and we've got the rocket things on like different planets like Mars and Venus or some shit. I think that's mad that we have travelled that far away from planet Earth. This is 4 planets better than life than Earth or some shit like that. And it looks interesting and I wanted to watch it by myself because I like watching these types of videos normally, but I thought I'd react to it just because why not. This is by some guy, can't remember his name, I put it on screen or whatever it may be. Like and subscribe or whatever.
As of right now, Earth is the only place in the entire universe where life is known to exist. We've been searching far and wide. Mars, Venus, Titan, Europa, and yet so far, we've found nothing. But when you stop to consider that there are more stars in the universe than grains of sand here on Earth, and nearly every star has its own...
There's more stars in the universe or something like that than grains of sand. Think about 1 grain of sand. Think about deserts and beaches and bottom of the ocean and shit like that.
Planets. It's hard to imagine that Earth is the only inhabited world. And we found some
There's
pretty
definitely life
promising
out there
options.
somewhere else.
So let's go for a little journey to the most exciting exoplanets ever discovered. But these planets aren't boring and dry like Mars. These are super habitable worlds that are bigger, better.
All I'm saying is if planets have got water on them, there must be some sort of life somewhere like underwater. Like we can't see from here if there's things living underwater.
And more suited for life than Earth.
This is what the planet looks like, because it's
This
just a
planet
render.
is considered to be the best candidate for a super habitable world.
It's just stock
A
footage.
massive, rocky world twice the size of Earth, orbiting in the habitable zone of its star. This means that the conditions are just right for liquid water to exist on the surface, a key ingredient for life as we know it.
Does that mean that like if we went to this planet hypothetically and planted a grass seed or a couple, would it eventually take over the whole like land? Or is there no dirt? Like what is dirt?
Imagine a world so big that you could spend over 100 hours flying between continents. There would be so much more land for life to thrive on compared to here on Earth. It orbits a very special kind of star. You see, our sun is a G-type main sequence star, sometimes referred to as a yellow dwarf. And these stars only hang around for 10 billion years.
Only?
Our sun is nearly halfway through its entire life cycle, meaning in around 5 billion years, the sun will expand into a red...
Yeah, before that, it will be a billion years from now, sort of, won't it? That's where the sun's going to get too hot that it will become like Mars, or like not Mars, the one before us. Earth will become like Venus because it'll be so hot you won't be able to live on it anymore. The radiation and shit will be too like powerful in a billion years,
consuming the Earth in the process. But in the case of KOI 5715.01, dreadful name, I know, it orbits an orange dwarf star. These stars are a little smaller than our sun, but they are so much more stable. In some cases, hanging around for up to 70 billion years. Life on Earth has been evolving for just 4 billion years.
The thing is, on Earth, when you look at like different planets, ours has got green on it 'cause it's got life. All these other planets have just got like orange because it's just rock and sand. There's no life. There's no like plants, which makes it me think maybe maybe there isn't life on these planets. This isn't like if there's life on them. This is about planets better for us to live on, but like, shut up.
You imagine what life might look like after 70 billion years of evolution. That's when you start getting into tier 3 civilizations and Dyson sphere territory. While this world does sound perfect, and I'm sure you want to move there right now, I have to be honest with you. This planet is so far away. I'm talking 3,000 light years away. Meaning that if you and I wanted to leave today and head on a trip to visit this planet, and we somehow convinced NASA to lend us an Orion spacecraft, it would still take us over 100,000 years.
Just quickly, this like shots of, I don't know if this is real or not, the render, but from the moon and you can see the Earth, it just blows my mind that we live on that little dot thing there, like that circular thing.
Maybe one day we'll have a rocket quick enough to get
Imagine
us
the
there
views
in
from
a
space.
reasonable amount of time. But for now, we can only dream about what interesting life forms might be thriving over there.
Probably
Maybe
nothing because
we
there's
should
no
check
green.
out something a little closer to home.
But maybe green doesn't mean life on different planets. I don't know.
Just 39 light years away, we
Just.
come across a potential safe haven for life.
Isn't this the
Earth-
one in the Kuiper Belt or whatever it's called? I'm sure I just need to stop talking. Just let him talk for me. Oh shit! I've clicked on something.
Sized worlds huddled tightly around their star, 3 of which orbit within the habitable zone. This is the TRAPPIST-1 system first discovered back in 2017, and for the last 5 years, astronomers have been spending every waking minute researching the system in an attempt to find life. So they were able to detect this gold mine of planets by looking at how the star's brightness dipped ever so slightly as each planet passed between us and the star. This is known as the transit method. These planets are much older than
That picture's mad. I want to make this my desktop background now.
Earth, meaning life there would have had at least 3 billion years to evolve before Earth was even finished forming. TRAPPIST-1e, the 4th planet from the star, is of particular interest to us.
Again, it's just rock,
a
no
little
green.
smaller than Earth, and it has the right conditions for water to exist on the planet. And we think it may have a thick oxygen atmosphere, even better for life than the atmosphere here on Earth.
Looks a bit green though.
But let's be clear, this system is very different to ours. The planets are orbiting a tiny red dwarf star of a similar size to Jupiter. The star is far cooler than our sun, meaning these planets have to be close. So close that the orbits of the entire system would easily fit within Mercury's orbit of the sun.
That's a bit mad.
This can cause some problems. We think that the planets are tidally locked to their star, one side being permanently cooked by the star, and one side being
So
frozen.
how is this
and
better for
desolate.
life?
Under perfect conditions, this could create a single strip of land around the planet where the conditions are just right for life.
Well, yeah,
But
but how
what's
is this
most
better than
exciting to
Earth?
me is imagining what living on these planets would actually be like. They are so close together that you would look to the sky and see these massive
Oh, imagine looking in the sky and just seeing planets like big, like circular, like from the moon you can see Earth. Imagine that, or like when we look at the moon, imagine that, but as a planet, like colourful, like.
planets orbiting alongside you. You could take holidays to different planets as if they were countries. Visit the slopes for a skiing trip out on TRAPPIST-1H before going for a summer holiday to the tropical world of TRAPPIST-1D. And since
Oh, that looks ridiculous. They're too big. But,
it's
like,
just 39 light years away, maybe one day this could be a reality for humanity.
that looks greener.
Up next,
This
we
is what I was
have
on about,
Kepler
Kepler or
452b,
whatever.
a world that has often been called Earth 2.0. The planet shares so many similarities with Earth that it's kind of scary. It orbits a sun-like star every 384 days. That's just 5% longer than our year here on Earth. This would also make every single month exactly 32 days, which
Oh, that'd
just
be better.
kind of feels
That'd-
right.
Good
This
for my
is
OCD.
a super Earth though, meaning
So it goes
it's
30,
roughly
31,
50%
28.
bigger than Earth.
Stupid.
This means more land, larger continents.
It looks so
and
nice, man.
potentially
It's probably not even real,
more
but like that
water.
looks nice.
It's looking good so far, but it does come with a few downsides. While it is just 50% larger than Earth, it's actually 5 times more massive, meaning gravity will feel twice as strong on the surface, and everyone therefore will weigh twice as much. But here's where things get interesting.
So I'd be weighing
As far as we
like
can tell,
140
this is the
40
only
kg.
planet in the Kepler 452 system. That means no gas giant planet. And I know what you're thinking. Jupiter protects us from asteroids here on Earth, so wouldn't this planet just be
Does it?
completely destroyed by
that.
asteroids? But that's where you're actually wrong. You see, we thought for decades that Jupiter was our friend.
Jupiter's is so good looking, man. Like, if that was a person, I'd fucking fuck Jupiter.
Regularly
in that
protecting
hole.
us from asteroid impacts. But recent simulations have come out to show that this might not actually be true. The paper showed that a solar system without Jupiter would actually have 3.5 times less asteroid collisions here on Earth.
Why?
So since Kepler 452b is all alone, maybe a civilization
though?
on the planet wouldn't have to worry about asteroid
Ignore my dog
collisions
barking.
at all. But it is far from
Can
perfect.
shoot it in a minute.
Its star is slightly older than our own, and as sun-like stars become older, they tend to become more energetic. And as a result, the planet might be receiving too much radiation, slowly warming the planet, and eventually leading to a runaway greenhouse
But that's
effect.
green. Is that
This
Earth?
could
or is...
leave the planet looking a lot less like Earth and more like Venus, killing
That's
off
what I'm on about,
all
yeah.
life on the
It's
planet
hotter
for good.
or whatever.
We end our journey 600 light years away from home in the distant
Who names these like Kepler 22b? Like, is there like a process or whatever? It's like, oh, we're gonna go. This is the Kepler area, and this is 1a, 2b, 3b, or whatever. I don't know.
constellation of Cygnus. This is Kepler 22b, one of the most interesting super-Earths ever discovered.
It looks dead.
This planet has stumped astronomers for years. It orbits well within the habitable zone, and our best observations point towards this planet being a true water world.
That'd be so sick, and there's definitely life living in there. Water world is full life somewhere in there, because you can't tell from just looking at it. There's no life. You can't tell me there's no like whales or something walking around there, swimming around there, because you can't see from here, can you?
Just like Miller's planet from Interstellar.
Nah, it's Camino. What you on about? Whatever he just said is Camino. We could build a clone factory and take over the universe.
A massive ocean covering the rocky inner core that is hundreds of kilometers deep. It is possible that
There's
life may
definitely
have
life.
evolved in the depths of
Definitely.
this ocean. Strange fish that only seem real in your wildest dreams.
100%.
If humans ever did make the journey across the galaxy to visit Kepler 22b, I'm sure we would be in for a surprise. So the real question is, which planet do you think you would want to move to? For now, I think I'll be staying here on.
Any of them, get me off Earth. I don't care if I die on the planet. Sounds cool. Subscribe if you want and like or whatever.